Welcome back to another episode of 5 in 5, the podcast where we sit down with a thought leader from Aware to answer 5 questions in 5 minutes regarding biometric technology in the news today. I'm your host, Gina Rodriguez, Vice President of Marketing at Aware, a leading global provider of biometric software products, solutions, and services. Today, we're joined by Dr. Mohamed Lazzouni, the Chief Technology Officer at Aware. Hi, Dr. Lazzouni. Thank you so much for stopping by.
It's a pleasure, Gina. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and get this clock started, and we will start with the first question. What's caught your eye in the news lately related to security or biometrics?
I would say that I picked up a couple of interesting trends. I can think of 3. So I see them as breakthrough innovations in the field of biometrics, and they are being developed and implemented. And I see some really promising outcomes from them. The first one falls into the category that I call wearable biometrics. As I'm sure you know by now, the proliferation of all of these smart gadgets like watches and other things that people wear, obviously they collect some pieces of data that pertain to things that range from maybe heartbeat or number of steps taken or whatever, and then they might guide the user towards things that relate to, say, lifestyle. Well, one of the things that is very intriguing about them is this idea also of the application of biometrics. For example, you could give a voice prompt into your smartwatch, and it does something special, allows you to open a door for access or do some things like that. So that, I think, is a pretty exciting development. The second one is really growing more than being innovations. It's been there for a while, it's been growing. And that has to do with the authentication for mobile devices. It has become quite popular these days to unlock phones and tablets and mobile devices, either with a fingerprint or, say, with a face recognition. That's an interesting development. And perhaps the third one is this implementation of liveness detection as a measure to tell the difference between a live person and maybe a spoof in trying to do things like biometric authentication for online banking, account access, account management, and this sort of thing. When we are into a remote interaction with the computer, it becomes extremely important to tell the difference between a live human being who's on the other side of the keyboard or the interaction and perhaps a spoof or a risk of fraud.
Great. Thanks for sharing those with me. But why do you think that these topics are top of mind?
The primary reason for which they are top of mind is because really identity fraud is a horrifying problem. Not only is it serious around the world, but it has really staggering implication. By some statistics I have read, the global cost of identity fraud is close to about $27 billion. The United States alone, which is the most affected country for these problems of identity fraud, that costs our economy about $56 billion. So you can see that identity fraud is a very serious and devastating problem, and it has some horrifying impacts on victims. It can lead to financial loss, damaged credit, even legal problems. Victims might also experience emotional distress, anxiety, and stress. And this pernicious problem of identity fraud is not limited to one-time event. What is really damaging is that it takes a toll on life in general. It persists, and the reputation damage stays for a long time. And some people find that it takes years to recover from it.
Yeah, it can definitely be damaging. What have you heard from customers and others in the markets about this? What are they saying?
The businesses that we serve are focused on many aspects of this problem. They, like many other businesses, provide value and quality service to their customers. They care about competing and growing, and they care enormously about retaining their customers and protecting them. So what we hear is the following request: can you please come help us combat fraud, meet regulatory compliance requirements, and protect our products and services, as well as protect our customers against this pandemic of fraud that we experience?
And how do you think Aware helps in this scenario?
Oh, absolutely. Aware can help in many ways. I can think of three. We partner with the business that is experiencing the hardship to develop and put in place comprehensive solutions. Problems with security fraud are likely to be like squeezing a balloon. If you solve one problem in one area, it goes in another. So it's important to have a comprehensive solution. How does Aware do this, and how do we do it in manners that have been effective for our customers is by bringing to our customers a comprehensive portfolio and a suite of products and services to make them work harmoniously to solve the problem. And finally, it is also important to realize that Aware provides flexibility in the business models that adapt to our customer needs. When their needs change, we change to accommodate their new requirements.
That's a great point. Thank you. And just to close out here, Dr. Lazzouni, where do you think this is going to go in the future?
Well, predicting the future is always hard, and I wouldn't be presumptuous to argue that I have some sort of crystal ball, but I would say the following thing. The one thing that I'm quite excited about is the idea that we have an obligation as a society to really protect our freedom, our privacy, and our values and our way of life. And what I see happening here is that if we are able to give our citizens empowerments via fighting, education, awareness, vigilance, and the use of the technologies wisely, I think we can achieve a good future for ourselves and our children.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Lazzouni, for stopping by. For those listening, if you've enjoyed the conversation today, please subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts and tune in every month for another new episode. In addition to the podcast, be sure to check out our website, aware.com, for what's to come, and follow Aware on Twitter at Aware Biometrics, on YouTube at Aware Inc., and on LinkedIn at Aware-Inc. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay aware. Okay.